They lack the intellect, the IQ points, and the simple intellectual curiosity to find out how to be better, get better, learn more, or even be competent in any way in their jobs. They just want to hurt brown people and black people and swing their dicks around. That's what we have as ICE agents. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And Donald Trump is still not released the Epstein files. And he's still a pedophile himself and an abuser of women and children and still the president. And this story will not take away from that. But today's story happens to be about ICE, its racism, its incompetence. And we have the story coming directly from somebody who's involved, not with ICE, but with the system that they were using to hurt, detain, and destroy someone else's life. This person who we're going to be talking about is Eduardo Flores Ruiz, and he has a court date coming up. So I figured I'd tell you the entire story through the eyes of the person who is involved intimately in the detail, and we will keep his name out of it. On April 18th, 2025, Eduardo Flores Ruiz appeared in court for a status conference related to a domestic violence case. That day, ICE and DHS agents entered the Milwaukee County Courthouse with the intention of removing Flores Ruiz and processing him for deportation at the courthouse. Anyway, he had previously been deported, people, and he did not seek authorization to return to the United States. There you go. The federal agents did not seek any sort of guidance from the workers or the court officials or the chief judge district, Carl Ashley. Here's the beginning of incompetence. This is what happens when you give people who are Dunning-Kruger effect specimens dumber than they think they are. They don't have any idea of what rules and regulations are or training. And you bring these people up from the mountains and the foothills of the most racist places in Tennessee and Georgia from their militias after pardoning them and turn them into ICE agents. Instead of just asking, instead of just looking for anything. Anyway, we're going to continue on with the story. I'm not supposed to be doing a diatribe. Let's continue. Chief Judge Ashley had not formally written any policy regarding ICE or other federal agents and their ability to arrest individuals in courtrooms or even being inside the Milwaukee County Courthouse as of April 18th, 2025. While Flores Ruiz was appearing for his scheduled court date, federal agents entered Judge Hannah Dugan's courtroom. Remember that name? I'm sure you do. If not, we'll remind you. They entered that courtroom with an administrative warrant, which allows ICE to arrest the defendant, but not search or enter private property. You can arrest a person, but you're not allowed to go into their private property and search or arrest them there. That warrant is something that's not signed by a court official, like a judge or a magistrate, but an agent of the agency, and that's why they're not allowed to do that. These are the things that maybe you should know the next time you hear about this case in the coming months. Judge Dugan became upset that these agents had entered her courtroom unannounced. There was a discussion in the hallway where the agents were directed to the chief judge's office. Now, the DOJ alleges that during that time, Judge Hannah Dugan directed the defendant and his attorney through a side door, quote unquote. And that side door, YouTube, leads back to the public hallway. Yeah, where the agents could have detained the defendant. The same hallway where they were and could have detained the defendant if this administration didn't have the intellect of an average fruit fly, that is. Instead, the premier law enforcement officials allowed the defendant to leave that floor via elevator and get outside the building, where he tried to run and was chased down on foot and then arrested. According to the criminal complaint, Judge Dugan was charged with 18 U.S.C. 1505, obstructing or impeding a proceeding before a department or agency of the United States, and 18 U.S.C. 1071, concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest. Now, regarding the obstruction or impeding of proceeding before a department or agency. What proceeding? What proceeding? You mean arrest? That seems like an arrest, not any kind of legal proceeding. You know, like the one that the Judge Dugan was trying to have. That's a proceeding. Yeah. She was having a proceeding before you fucking idiots decided to swing your dicks around her courtroom. That's what happened. Now let's talk about the concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest. According to the courthouse videos obtained by a local news station, there was an FBI agent with him. YouTube. And his attorney said the elevator that he was in, the FBI agent was there with him as well, right? And then they followed him out the courthouse entrance. These are things you should know before Mr. Ruiz gets back into another courtroom and you start hearing the spin from an orange maniac orangutan who throws his shit against the wall for fun and games or when he's upset. When they start to give you a spin, remember these things I just told you. Here's some more. That quote-unquote side door leads to the public hallway. Why? If you intended to detain someone, would you send most of the goon squad to the chief judge's office instead of, here's a thought, having 2 or 3 of these amazing agents stick around in the hallway? Maybe catch him when he comes back to the public hallway. Yeah, Here we are. Oh, and here's a bright idea. Here's good. Ask where all the elevators are and ask about the layout of the hallway. Have enough Gomer piles to, coordinate his going out either of the set of elevators. How do I know that? YouTube. I have an insider source. An inside source tells me that there are 2 sets of elevators and a service elevator. One set of elevators and the service elevator go to the parking garage. All elevators go to the ground floor where the exit is. Me having this inside source means that I now have more foreknowledge of the place than the ICE agents and the DHS going to arrest him. Because they're incompetent children. Because they've learned everything they know about law enforcement on TV. Because they're failures as adult human beings and as professionals. They lack the intellect, the IQ points, and the simple intellectual curiosity to find out how to be better, get better, learn more, or even be competent in any way in their jobs. They just want to hurt brown people and black people and swing their dicks around. Because that's all they know. That's all their daddy taught them. That's what we have as ICE agents. I now know more about the layout than all of you and all of the rest of them. And I mean you as in the ICE agents and DHS and all the rest of you good and decent people out there on YouTube. When you see this come back up, when you see this court case come back up and you see those talking dickheads talking to you and spinning the story, remember all I told you here, and I'm not done. Maybe have some agents outside the exit in case he walks out that way. That's something that even I know. Even I know. Having done any extraction team work or learned about it even in a book at all. You know who else would know that? Even dumbass police officers would know. And I mean the dumbasses, the dumbest ones. Because they learned that in policing. A bunch of kids working out a trick-or-treating strategy for maximizing candy volume could have done better than this, people. These dipshits are calling a ball of roux gumbo. They eat the dead ones. If you know, you know. Now, they're expecting the populace to respect them. Nah. Let's not forget the esteemed Federal Bureau of Idiots led by Splash O'Hell. When Judge Dugan got arrested on April 25th, 2025, he tweeted out, "Just now, the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Dugan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Dugan's obstruction." That's what it sounds like to me. His fucking stupid ass eyes. That's it. And it ends something with something. We've chased him down on foot like Batman. Hoorah! It is not generally FBI policy to comment on individual arrests, oh hell, or comment about ongoing investigations. Splash. Judge Dugan is not a danger to public safety. She's not really a flight risk at all. She's a judge. So this is FBI dictator, emphasis on the dick, feeling like a big boy. That's it. Even though he's only about 4'9". How strange that at-will germ vector Pam Bondi tweeted following the Judge Dugan's arrest. This. I mean, strange, except for the entire administration, including her circus peanut, a proven pedophile, piss keg's breath, who leaks national security information via Signal and various other dipshits. Nah, people, it's yet another example of how the party of law and order doesn't seem to know what either word means. Don't want to participate in either one. And are Costco-sized hypocrites. Remember, every accusation is, in fact, a confession. And the moral of the story is, on December 15th, when that court date happens for Hannah Dugan, when they try to spin it, when these degenerate, degraded, disgusting anti-American people who run the FBI with eyes wide the fuck open, and the head of the DHS who loves to kill puppies brag about it, and then put on display for America the process by which it takes to become American, like a game show. We reported on that as well, rather than just do the job diligently. She'd rather walk around, run around, and ride around on horses and an American flag while stealing the money given to her campaign. These are the people in charge of law enforcement. So when you see this on December 15th and the spin comes from the dirty, insect-filled mouth of these horrific hooligans, remember what you heard here. Also remember, Hannah Dugan, defensefund.org. If you live in Milwaukee County, you cannot go there to fundraise. You cannot go there and donate money, but everywhere else in the country can. I'd start today if I were you, political drain. Hannah Dugan, defensefund.org. December 15th, they're going to be lying. I want to make sure we've done everything we can to ensure this American hero gets back on the seat. Last but not least, especially, you can support us by buying any of the things you've seen scrolling down here. It's a brand new store, brand new artist. We have a graphics team that has really put in the work. You may have seen something like a real alpha male don't need no daddy. You can bet your bottom dollar I'm getting one of those. I got it on the way. I think. One of them. Listen, help us out. It's good stuff. It's quality. New store. Join the Patreon. We'll show the whole commercial. If you're not getting the news like I gave you, you may want to think about things like ground news instead of whatever else you're looking at. Stay strong. I'm back. Thank you for all the love you've given over the past few days. Everybody's been reaching out. I appreciate it. But I'm back because tomorrow we fight. Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war, not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind, the kind that moves. But here's the thing, none of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're gonna pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.